The Clippers sent Chris Paul home. I don't know if there's anything else to be said about that. They sent him home in the middle of the night. He went to Instagram to post like he was a wide receiver in NFL, blank screen. They sent me home, peace emoji. And then later we found out it was because he clashed with the leadership there with Tyronn Lue. Apparently he was very boisterous in the locker room about making sure things are okay, and he may have not delivered it the right way, rubbed some people the wrong way. He apologized, but that was not enough. Him and Tyronn Lue were not on speaking terms for a few weeks, and ultimately he was waived.
That speaking terms thing is so crazy to me. Again, and ultimately my thought is like, what did they expect? Last year, Chris Paul felt like he was on his last legs with the Spurs, and they brought him in, and he announced that it was going to be his retirement year. Did they not know this is what Chris Paul does? This is who Chris Paul has always been a winner his whole career. He might not have the ring, but he's always gone to a team and took them to the next step, or for their franchise, he's always taken them to the next step. This being like this is just not like, it's not going to sit right with Chris Paul. Yeah. He's gonna be vocal. He's gonna be a vet. He's gonna be a leader.
Yeah.
Now I can understand why Tyronn Lue is mad, because he's probably done everything he can to try to get this team to work, and he has Chris Paul saying, "I'm like, do this, do this, do this." So I can see where it could be a little bit of a nag. But what did they expect?
I think that's my biggest point of contention for them, because it's not like Chris Paul is some random guy. He literally played for the organization for a long time. You've known what his leadership style was. And maybe they said to themselves, well, we was dealing with Chris Paul back then because he's one of the best in the league. Yeah. Now that he's trash, then what he's saying don't matter. But it's something that you've seen before. And I think what also rubs me the wrong way is that I was patiently waiting to hear the comments from Lue, from Kawhi, from Harden. Not a single one of them said anything of value. Tyronn Lue said, we hate it for Chris Paul. We hate that it had to be like this, but decision that had to be made. James Harden said, yeah, I just woke up and read about it. And then Kawhi Leonard said, I had no idea. It's hard for me to believe that everybody has that. And, of course, they have to give what seems to be the political answer to it all. But I wish somebody would just say straight up, like, man, Chris did this. Because right now, they don't look good, right? Mm-hmm. They don't look good as an organization based on a lot of stuff from this season. I mentioned in my video that the biggest thing marketing-wise for the Clippers this season was Chris Paul. You had the aspiration things over here, and they were saying, no, don't worry about that. We got our GOAT back this season. The whole offseason, all of their Instagram posts is about how Chris Paul is back on the team, and he didn't even last 25 games. Again, he sucks. He's 40 years old. He can't move. He can't shoot. He can't score. He got no leg. We understand that. But it's not that crazy to assume that, because last year, though he played all the games, he wasn't good last year either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And for the Spurs, though, too, think about the difference in just locker rooms. Him doing all that preaching to James Harden and to the older guys is probably not the same to preaching to Devin Vassell and Stephon Castle and Vic. They're gonna take those words of praise. It didn't seem like that for this locker room at all.
Yeah, and also I think it's kind of crazy because when they brought in Chris Paul, they told him he wasn't going to play a lot. So they wanted him to be an extension of Tyronn Lue and be a voice. And I think if he's doing that, why at some point is the accountability taken as why y'all offended by it? Mm-hmm. That was his job. He knew what his job was. I think Chris Paul has always been vocal. Mm-hmm. That's kind of who he is as an individual. He wants the product on the court to be at the best as possible as it can be. The Clippers are playing like shit right now. And even though he can't contribute on the court to fix the problem, he probably knows things that he can say that can help fix the problem. And it seems like no one wants to take up accountability in that locker room.
I think that's the biggest problem, is they not really going to the realization that, like, well, it's a double-sided thing. Again, like I said, this is an older team, and it's hard for them to just be, I think a little bit coachable at this age, especially from a guy that's, again, he's sitting on the bench. This is, again,
I think it's different, though. It's Chris Paul, though. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's Udonis Haslem.
Whoa, UD.
No disrespect.
I thought about it in a similar way, and I didn't thinking about it in a disrespectful way to Udonis Haslem, but there's never been a time where they were like, we're getting rid of Udonis Haslem because he's like, his voice is bigger than what he's doing on court.
Mm-hmm. But like you saw UD being a voice in that locker room.
He was very impactful from what we understand. And it literally is the GOAT of your franchise, bro.
Yeah.
And shout out to Udonis Haslem, Florida forever, Florida boy. He's not their GOAT. Yeah. He's highly respected in that organization, but he's not their GOAT. He's on the tier list. But he ain't Wade. He ain't what Bron. And they still respected him the entire time he was there. For Chris Paul to be there and help you guys be, go from the laughing stock of the NBA pre-Chris Paul being a Clipper, for y'all to be respectable every single season, and for him to make all NBAs, for him to make all defensives, for him to hit game-winning shots for your organization, an organization that does not make it out of the first round often. He hit game-winning shots for y'all. It's mind-blowing. And they talk about how not only was he trying to keep the players in the locker room and the coaching accountable, he's trying to keep Lawrence Frank accountable. And one thing I feel like is really tough, our job is to try to follow all 30 NBA teams as closely as possible. But nobody's voice matters more than the people that follow the team on a nightly basis. Mm-hmm. And Clippers fans themselves are done with Lou, and they're done with Frank, because those guys have not been able to accept accountability for their wrongdoings. And things are not good over there right now. They got to win last night. Congratulations. No Trae Young, no Jalen Johnson. Good win. But I don't know, man. It's frustrating as a Chris Paul fan, because it could have just been last year. Last year he was not good, but he set the goal of playing 82 games at the age of 39, and he achieved that goal.
Yep.
If that would have been his last season, I feel like we all walk away and say, yes, shout out to Chris Paul, legendary career. For it to end like this, because another report comes out that he's not looking to potentially sign anywhere else. That's it. That's it for my GOAT. So for it to end like this is just leaving a bad taste in the mouth. He just posted on Instagram last week about it being his farewell tour. Mm-hmm. He got 2 more games after that.
Yeah.
And they sent his ass home.
I'm thinking about it too, especially with a lot of the players that we watch getting to that point, like a Chris Paul, like the Kevin Durant. We even see it now with Bron, where it's just sometimes you just don't really know when it can all end. So should we not just even be expecting farewell tours like we kind of did?
No, I mean, I think you should, because I don't think this was something that you could have expected, because he was on the roster, and he was due for he was on his farewell tour, mm-hmm. and it's kind of just unfortunate that whatever happened in that locker room, it seemed like it just blew everything up. It just, and that's not something you could predict, and it's kind of. I'm with KB. I'm kind of want to know what did he say?
Oh, I bet we never know.
I want to know what he could have said. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to imagine that he said something that absurd.
It had to be
that it just ruined every relationship in the locker room.
It had to be a build-up over time. Again, the losing, that already in itself was a problem that you having this type of record. What teams, I guess, would you like to see Chris Paul on?
OKC is right on.
None of them. You got to remember what Chris Paul was doing before he signed with the Clippers. He told Jamel Hill that was probably my last season, unless I could be close to home. I've been on the road for 20 years. I want to see my kids every day. Mm-hmm. And that's why the Clippers jumping in was like, let's go. We got another year of Chris Paul. I don't believe that teams will be super interested in Chris Paul, but him going from Los Angeles to shift all the way to the other side of the country to OKC or to Milwaukee, who were interested in him before he went to the Clippers, I just don't see it as realistic. I think that he probably recognized this is the end and he'll just stay at home and post shit on Instagram.
Unless he goes to the Lakers.
And I don't think that they would need that.
Yeah.
I don't think they need it.
Yeah, that's probably the only way
I could see
to really make it happen.
And again, it's a stretch because you're not getting the same production as you would want.
Yeah.
I could see Timberwolves, they could use a point guard. Again, Chris Paul, he's 40 years old.
He's just not good, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I think that's the tough part of it.
He doesn't fit.
Mavericks would be cool, I think, with just a vet.
They got Chris Paul already.
What are you talking about? Who, Kyrie?
Ryan Emhart.
I ain't say he got to take his minutes. I just say he could be a voice there.
No, I think that's the problem, though. I just think that he's not talented enough anymore at the age of 40 for teams to want it. Because we know, we're talking about the negative aspect of it for the Clippers, but we've known Chris Paul to be this vocal guy, to be abrasive his entire career. Your coach, J.J. Redick, said that I played for the Clippers and I hated Chris Paul. He was my teammate. His locker room was right next to me. I didn't talk to him. So we've known he's been kind of a jackass in the locker room. And if you are a team acquiring that and not preparing yourself, I don't think it's worth it, personally.
Yeah, I think you do have to have some sort of thick skin. Certain players aren't meant to be in every locker room. Mm-hmm. And for the Clippers, for them to be going through so much turmoil right now, and it kind of I think is what Mike said. It was probably just a buildup of everything, from them being bad, from them sucking, and then all of this and then you got him barking at you. Yeah. It kind of just added on to it.
It's unfortunate, man.
And it's just kind of crazy that Tyronn Lue saying that it just didn't work out, and it's just it could have worked. I don't think I think y'all just chose this route. I think there's a way where y'all could have easily gotten over this and worked it out.
Shout out to my GOAT, Chris Paul. Gone but never forgotten. One of the greatest point guards ever.